Salim Ismail is the author of the bestseller Exponential Organizations, which was the highest-rated Amazon business book and required reading at the world's top brands. The founding executive director of Singularity University, he teaches and consults on innovation, growth, and developing a new breed of company that will dominate the digital age.
These new organizations, these exponential organizations, have figured out how to drop the cost of supply exponentially. So for Airbnb, the marginal cost of adding another hotel room is almost zero. Same with Uber, because it doesn't employ, they don't own their own assets, they're tapping into assets around them. In 2 years, Airbnb will be the biggest hotel chain in the world. And they don't own any hotel rooms. Now when you have no cost of supply and no cost of demand, your company explodes, which is why we're seeing those explosive market caps. And the question for you is, how do you compete with a startup that has no cost of supply? This rate of change is not slowing down, it's actually increasing. If this was actually a true exponential, it would be linear. It was actually tilting upwards. So the exponential organizations are growing at about a 10x pace faster than any of their peers. And so we've documented about 60 of these companies and how quickly they're growing, what are the characteristics they've used. And they're typically leveraging some external capability like community or TED with its legion of TEDx fans, or leveraging the crowd like Uber does with its taxi drivers to scale outside their organizational boundaries. And there's 5 of those elements that they're tapping into. And what we found is if you implement 4 or more out of the 10 attributes, you get the 10x level.
A former Yahoo exec who built and sold his company to Google, Ismail is on the cutting edge of innovation and offers a new way of looking at growth, transformation, and competing in your industry.
On the left in the silhouette is me with a headset that's a readout from my brain. He's composing music that when you play the music, it puts your head into a focused state. You're in the zone. And you can see my brain is flooded with alpha waves, which is the brainwave frequency you want. And it works. The leading expert in ADHD has said this is better than any of the drugs that he's ever given any of the kids. Now, if you're Red Bull, you should be a little worried about this, right? And you won't see this coming. This is an orthogonal impact on your marketplace. It's not a direct competition. If you're Starbucks, you should be worried about this, right? And so what's going to start to happen is small upstarts like this, or Emiliano, are going to start disrupting major industries from the side. The question then is, as you're building a new organization, how do you build it with marginal cost of supply being very, very low? And if you're a large organization, how do you drop your cost of supply very dramatically?
Regardless of an organization's size or age, Ismail offers real tactics that you can implement now and a clear roadmap for astounding growth amidst the challenges of our fast-paced business environment.
It's really easy in a big company to say no, right? So Amazon's done something that they call the institutional yes. The idea is that if you come up to me with an idea and you're working on my team, my default answer to your idea has to be yes. If I want to say no, I have to write a 2-page thesis of why it's a bad idea and post it publicly. So they've created friction to saying no. All of the mechanisms that we use to run the world, our politics, our civics, our social systems, legal systems, healthcare, education, intellectual property, you name it, all designed for a world a few hundred years ago, right? Not for the world of today. This brings up a general problem, which is, as technology is accelerating away from us, how does any regulatory framework keep pace? A foundation of China's economy is assembling and shipping cheap plastic parts, right? In a few years, we'll all have a 3D printer at home or have access to a local Kinko's type model. What happens to the foundation of their economy? Or India, where I grew up, a big chunk of their economy is call centers. Because of AI and voice recognition, we 50% automated those. In another 3 years, they'll be 100% automated.
His work has been featured in world-renowned publications, and Fortune 500 companies, associations, and world governments seek out his mind-blowing expertise.
Clearly, the metabolism of the world is increasing at a rapid pace. And I'd like to leave you with this thought: how will these accelerating technologies impact you?
It's a human legacy we want to leave behind us.